Boom! We're back at a new gym, 10th Planet in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we are on a mission to see if Eddie Bravo's 10th Planet gyms are all they're cracked up to be.
If you look into it and you have proof.
And to test this, we needed to grade the class, the facility, and the roles. Class was taught by Andy Varela, an ADCC competitor who even did the Absolute division. With ADCC being the same week that I was there, we only focused on wrestling, which is a big plus for me, especially when I found someone half my size, so I give it a pass. Next on the list, rolling. And who better to do the first round with than the 10th Planet version of Kingpin.
It's a hell of a freaking light show, you're gonna love this.
And this gorilla starts off the round the only way he can, by trying to rip my shoulder off. So I show him the power of my guillotine hand by pushing against the dome. And I get tired of patty cake, so I decide to stand up right away. But in case you forgot this was 10th Planet from his rash guard, he goes in for the leg lock, but I show him I'm better at it. That's 1 point for Gryffindor. We get into the second round and immediately I'm having to push all that heavy weight off of me. He drives in looking to keep me down and he ends up in one of my one-handed guillotines. But Tyler, isn't he just gonna Von Flu you because he's passing your guard? Nope. I have the shallow grip over his chin so my arm would never be tight enough to my own body to get Von Flued. Plus I bring my second leg in and now he's basically in my guard. But I forgot, I'm the size of a dwarf, so as I try and hip in and counter him, he just drives me down. Then after doing some sick guard retention that would make Elio Gracie happy, I remind him that this is America and we don't just sit on our back, we wrestle up. Then we followed up with some really sick guard passing, which mostly consists of looking busy, until I remember I'm a 10th Planet member now, so I can only do footlocks. And here's another secret. Flow Grappling wasn't really happy that I was recording at the same time they were, but your boy still made it in their video.
I can't wait to be a part of it.
Now back to my role, I just wrestled my opponent down. And to prove my loyalty to 10th Planet once again, instead of going for a guard pass, I fell back looking for a quick ankle lock. Cupping the knee allowed me to maintain control even after he rolled, then just had to compress for the tap. Now this behemoth of a man wasn't happy getting tapped by some punk doing a drop-in. And to be fair to him, it's all nogi, so I don't think he knew I was a black belt, but he came in with those heavy hands trying to crush me and pressure pass me. But I'm no stranger to having a thick man on top of me. So as he continues to pressure into me, I latch onto a guillotine with my left hand. And even as he tries to rip apart at my fingers, this hand has too much power from all these knights to myself. So I latch onto the guillotine, fall to my hip, angle the choke into his neck, and I get the tap. Now since I tapped my opponent a few times already, I started off really slowly so he could start working. And I can't believe he fell for that. I grabbed his arm and pushed it in front of him so I could enter towards the front head. From here, all I had to do was latch over his neck with the guillotine, bring my left elbow down, and I got a really easy shallow guillotine finish. The reason this guillotine works so well is because my elbow is so low and it traps his head in there, which then allows me to use the shallow grip, making it really difficult for him to hand fight because it's only on one side of his neck and his other side is trapped because it's arm in. We racked up 5 points, but what test would it be without a wrestler? And to make it more fun, these mats were so sweaty, you were basically wrestling in a Turkish bathhouse. He did a nice job throwing me back down to the mat, but I was able to bring my outside hook in so I could push off against him and regain an open guard position. Now hand fighting. Very important stuff, but not that fun to watch. My first big move came when I got tired of doing all the hand fighting, so I dug in for double underhooks. From here, all I had to do was continue to pummel up and I tried for a knee pick, but then I switched off to the front head. He attempts to duck out of my guillotine, but this just exposes his back. I throw my legs in and I pull him backwards. Then the next step of this master plan included locking up a nice but tight body triangle. And for a limited time event on this channel only, you finally get to see me pull off a rear naked choke. And now that I've gauged my opponent's technique, the second round started off quite a bit faster. I initiated with a half butterfly guard, which allows me to use my butterfly to extend him so he can't flat to me, but I also want to maintain really strong wrist control. I pull his arm and elevate his hips at the same time so I can go towards his left leg. By cupping the heel, I have better control over his foot and I can pull it towards my body. And while the cameraman didn't do the best job to see how I finished, I hit it with a heel hook. And on his third attempt to try and beat me, as he tried to take mount, I was able to catch his leg into single leg X and I pulled his balance out. From here, all I had to do was transition to the ankle lock and compress using my chest. Another sweaty round was in the books, and now we're moving on to the next one. 3, 2, 1, rest. Moving on to opponent number 3, we have a wily footlocker. And the best way to counter a footlocker is to give them no space. I'm hugging hard onto his butterfly guard so I can see what options he has. But since I'm obsessed with the ankle guillotine myself, I sit back for my own attack, cup his knee right away, and I fall towards my side. He tries getting as close to me as he can to release pressure, so I start pushing his head away. But after giving him enough time to try and defend, I saw he wasn't going anywhere and I compressed until I could get the finish. Round 2 starts and this time he's coming out with a vengeance. He's pulling my head down so he can look for a leg entry on my right leg. So naturally the best counter is to pull his neck down with a snap into the guillotine and then use this to pass right into side control. Advice if you're getting footlocked a lot, controlling the head makes everything a lot easier. I was able to threaten the guillotine and it allowed me to pass into side control. So if you're having issues with this spot, just attack the head instead. Now when your opponent's doing a nice job defensively on bottom and side control, you can shift towards north-south to set up a nasty bonus head. I use my knee to push down his arm so he's going to push against my hips. Then I rotate back to the side but I catch his arm and head in the same trap. This position is known as bonus head and was used a lot by my old professor. The position itself is a lot better than the name. You're able to pin your opponent down easily unless you let go of the grip, then they can dig for an underhook like my opponent is. As he tries to rotate underneath me, I grab onto the head and I use this to stand up and push my frame against his neck. This double frame basically makes his underhook useless and I'm able to come back to a neutral position. Then I hit him with my wrestling up leg attack as we see here, which gives me an excellent opportunity to invert and go in towards the ankle lock. But chaos then erupts because I get hit with the Brazilian tap. The Brazilian tap is when somebody fake taps hoping to get out of the submission, but then they keep going because you let go. As I'm stuck in the outside ashi, I keep turning with him because I'm not going to let him win this one. I'm able to free my hips and make some distance, turn on the doom music, and we're going for the kill. I roll with the guillotine and throw him into mount. My hands already cleared his hands for the hand fighting and there's no Brazilians that be saving him this time. I get the real tap. It was a fun round with this Evo Knievel. I had other rounds as well at this slippery slide of a mat. And overall, I gotta say the rolling is a pass. I absolutely love rolling here. The facility was great as well, with enough mat space to host over 60 people on the mat and create your own water park, as well as having nice bathrooms, locker rooms, and a shower, with great music. This is the place to be. They even fitted me with a great rash guard. But if you want to see me take on other gyms, such as me infiltrating Jedi's gym, me dismantling a UFC level gym, or just to see me rolling with other talented black belts, as well as up-and-comers, then make sure to subscribe to the channel because we have so much more content coming out from the Vegas trip. And for other news, I'm going to be redesigning my Patreon page and the first instruction I'll be putting on Patreon will be the ankle guillotine. I have plans for other videos as well, such as footage breakdown, Q&As, and other cool video ideas. Make sure to check it all out, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.